My name is David Wise, and Walter Blum, whose voice you will soon hear, has been my best friend for many years. Walter has been practicing meditation for a very long time and has been a serious student of Buddhism, again for a very long time. We have spent thousands of hours talking Dharma, talking about life, its nature, and the way to deal with suffering. About 2 months ago, Walter was diagnosed with a brain tumor. I have been so deeply moved by the remarkable way in which he has dealt with a situation that would terrify most of us that I asked him if it would be all right if I recorded a conversation about his experience and included it in my new book on relaxation. He was eager to do so. The following is an edited version preserving the very essence of what he had to say about dealing with being diagnosed and treated for a brain tumor. As you will hear, Walter is a treasure.
There's a way to look on everything that lets it be another step to love. This is the lesson God would have us learn. I will forgive and this will disappear.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Beautiful.
The forgiving, it's the embracing, the accepting that really heals. That's what heals. So let's proceed. So to allow what is, meaning to allow it the way it is without trying to change it into something different. It's basically, it's really the great heart of compassion for yourself. It speaks to the heart, and that's our basic goodness. And that is that goodness that is what wants to connect with reality. Well, it's a difficult task to be put into a situation almost suddenly, and not be.
Sorry, go ahead, Walter.
We have butter.
Butter, okay, butter's good.
And also cheese. We have goat cheese. Oh, you have some of that Latour. Is there any Latour?
This is good. No, just
more?
a little butter. A little butter is good. It's fine.
Okay.
Butter.
Or both, butter, cheese. So anyway,
Just about you being put in this situation and
so I'm put in this situation, and the first instinct is fear, because you're in a situation that you never were in before, and it's scary. You got so many tubes and things going on, doctors and what have you, tests, and you don't know really what's happening, and it's scary. And that's what's so scary. Okay. So what's scary is that the unknown. The unknown is scary, and it looks bad. It looks ugly. It's not anything you aspire to. It's the other way, right? You look to run from it, generally, and it is that unwillingness to open up to just this, like this, just like this, to the way things are right now. Whatever happens, you know, if have consequences. Consequences is peace of not opening up. If you don't open up to it, you'll be in fear, because it's so scary. It's like a demon right in front of you, and so to accept the demon and say, "Come, let's be friends." Make friends with the demon, and suddenly you feel like you have a friend, you know, in that place that you're afraid, and suddenly the fear disappears because you're no longer separating yourself from the demon. You include the demon. Yeah. The point is that accept that which scares you. That's basically, you see. because what scares you is only your mind gathering up, conjuring up all kinds of fears that just tighten you inside out. You know, you can't relax into the situation, and so you're constantly agitated. That's what ruins us. So the idea is to say, just like this I want it, just the way it is. How can I deal with this right now in peace and accept this? Just accept it, just like that. It means really opening up your own heart to yourself. You're saying, I love you, meaning I love myself. I'm compassionate towards myself. I want to do what I can to make myself accepting to the situation rather than fight the situation. It's the fighting that creates our problem. Whatever the fear is, bring it in to your body. Embrace it. And say, it's okay, just like this.
Then could you say what happened to you as you've been doing this?
Well, I get calm. I feel centered. I feel at peace. I don't have to fight anything. I'm not doing battle with the demons. I just accept it and breathe into it. You know, I breathe. When I breathe in, my lungs fill up with the love and the acceptance and the compassion for myself, and then I let it out slowly.
Of yourself in this position, this way.
No different. Should not be any different than the way it is. The slightest idea that it should be different, you're already in trouble.
Really?
Immediately. The separation between heaven and hell is just a very fine line. Something like that.
And you were saying that one thought that it should be any different,
right, that's hell.
Plunges you into
that's hell. Immediately. So it's the same thing. If you go to the demon and you are afraid and scared, if you try to push it away, you're in trouble.
In trouble.
You just let it be there and embrace it. You're part of my life. You're part of my life. You're not separate from my life. Right now, the little kid in me is scared, and so it's scared, and so it conjures up all kinds of fears, like a young boy.
Thank you.
And what you want to do is just say, it's all right. We'll manage with the demon. Come in, welcome, sit down, eat. Let's be friends. It's basically making friends with your demon.
But you want it to do with everybody.
Everybody.
Is not exclude anybody.
Nobody. Because the exclusion then says, I only want it this way. Not good. That's the beauty of this practice, is to be able to show your big heart to yourself. You're doing it for you. No one else. You do others, but
It's incidental. It's not for them.
that's right.
I mean,
It's
yes,
strictly
it will benefit them, but that's not why you're doing it.
only for yourself. That's the heart.
And big heart just means opening to what's going on.
Open, welcoming, embracing, loving, compassionate, feeling their pain, feeling the pain, their pain. But it's opening to our heart. That's everything. Without the heart, you got nothing. Love, compassion, equanimity, and joy. The four immeasurables. So, like that. Be open. Open to your own love. You're talking about that.
Opening to the tension. Saying yes to the tension.
Yes.
Allowing the tension.
Yeah. Because the tension is the demon.
Right.
You see, the tension is the demon. And people race against it.
And the anxiety that people feel.
Yeah.
And the pain that people are.
Yes. I mean, it's a big item. You know, if somebody is suffering from chronic tension and pain, they as soon as they feel a little something, right away they're bracing against it.
Right.
That bracing
Right.
means that they're running for dear life. Then you're going to be in fear. Got to be.
It's a whole new thing to turn toward the fear with openness rather than run away from it with contraction.
Right.
Oh, yeah. These are cookies?
Yeah. She makes it like with no sugar and only the sweetness of the fruit. And she makes it like granola, you know, so that I can eat it like granola. Good.
Look at this appetite. I can't believe it.
I want you to know how grateful I am to be able to do that, to be able to accept it that way. It's made the whole difference in my whole attitude. There's nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. Marvelous. It's the great paradox.
Isn't it?
The great paradox. Fear. Yeah, people, you know, they don't want to be uncomfortable. Very difficult.
Want to get rid of it.
You go rid of it right away. I mean, our culture says, you know, take an aspirin.
I mean, you were telling me about being in the shower or putting your pants on and putting it all in one foot, one leg.
And becoming irritated because I was getting angry at the pants because they didn't make the hole big enough or short enough or whatever. I'm blaming the pants. I'm blaming me. I'm upset with myself because it's taking so long. I want to get moving. I'm getting tired taking the foot in and putting the foot in and putting the foot out. And, I was getting annoyed, and I realized I'm in a state of agitation. And immediately I stopped, and I started to take a look to see how it could be done easily. I started to examine it, and little by little I put it together. It took a little longer, but it was done. So I didn't have anything to get crazy about. And I was at peace. Everything worked out. Same thing. Get to know what you're doing, do it slowly, and that's the best I could do. So it takes me an hour to get into the shower, and by the time I'm out and dressed, it's a whole hour, which normally takes 15 minutes. You know. It's the way it is right now. There's no future. No future. The future is all made up crazy because one thing leads into another. I mean, you plan for the future, but there's no guarantee about it. So what you do is just plan, direct yourself in that direction, and take what you get. Very important to take what you get and do the best you can with it. If you could change it, sure. But if you can't, forget it. Just take it as it is. It's the saving grace. That's grace. You're talking about miracles. That's the miracle. The miracle is to be able to accept it just this way. Just the way the universe gives it to you at this moment. And the next moment it may be different. But if you're counting on some kind of a future that's something's going to be better or worse or whatever, forget it. You got to just accept what comes. How am I responsible for my agitation?
And that comes from the understanding that the agitation is all made up.
It's all made up, and it's also expectations. I'm expecting it to be a certain way. I want my foot to go in one hole, and I put it into the same, 2 feet in the same hole. So I expected it to come out that way, but it didn't. So now I got I'm all agitated, and I have to undo it. And so I undid it and started to look to see how it could be done so I don't have that problem. It takes a little longer, but it's done, and I'm at peace. So it's the accepting of it and working with it patiently. Very important to be patient with yourself. That's really an act of love, to be patient with yourself. A true act of love.
It's so easy to think that what only counts is somebody else's love.
Yeah.
And disregard even that you are acting lovingly or not. You just don't even think about it.
It becomes an automatic act of, it's like the heart really breaking open to the whole universe. It embraces everything. There's no exception. That heart of love, every person has that. Every person has that. They're just not in touch with it. Because there's so much fear around.
And the heart of love closes when you depend on the expectation on others to be certain ways that they're not.
Never. That's not the way to go. It's your own heart of love that carries you through. You can do anything. Once you have that love for yourself, you can't help but love everybody because you're connected. You're directly connected to every human being. I don't care who they are. Could be the worst possible person. You're directly connected to it. They got that same heart of love. It's like a transmitter, you know? You're on the same wavelength.
Your heart of love, that's why people are all coming to you. It's because your loving them has
unconditionally
forces them in that channel. Like you can't stop being on that channel if you're on the other side of it.
Right. Yeah. And if they try, it's in vain because they can't do anything with it.
And nobody wants to try.
No.
Everybody wants to be
A
in
piece
that
of the
place.
action.
Right. So that's why everybody's calling you, because you give them a moment. Not that you're trying to, but you give them a moment.
To experience their own love.
Right.
That's what I do. You know.
Through no altruism of your own.
Right. It's strictly for me. Selfish. It's a selfish act. But it's a good act. That's what makes me feel so loving to the whole universe. Even rocks, you know, they belong here. You can't exclude anything. The heart of love includes everything. Everything. You know, you can call it God, you can call it Buddha, you can call it whatever you want. It's all about love. Nothing more. True, unadulterated love for yourself, to appreciate your own good heart. You got to see your own good heart as the very thing that is the fuel, the driver. It has nothing to do with your mind. It has nothing to do. The mind conjures up all kinds of crazy things. You know, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not so good. I'm not saying that we shouldn't open to the good, feeling good.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but if it comes up bad, well, that's the way it is. If I could change it, I'll do it. If I can't change it, this situation here I can't change that overnight. It's a process. It came as a process. It'll go as a process. So this is what I got. So what am I going to do? Fight it? Aggravate myself? Agitate myself? Become worried about it? I want to live my life. I want to live my life the way it is, just this way. If I live it this way, if I accept the problem, so to speak, it's not a problem because I think actually it's a gift. It's truly a gift. But if you don't see it as a gift, then you see it as a problem. I don't want to see it as a problem. I want to see it as a gift. And seeing it as a gift, it changes my whole attitude. I embrace it. I say, fine, this is fine. I can't do anything about it, but let's do this. It means patience, it means love, it means appreciation for my own suffering. I want to appreciate my own suffering. I don't want to run from it as best I can.
Would you say that you feel more emotional than you usually do?
No, I have no emotion here.
I mean emotion about, tears or
No.
You're not feeling.
No, I just feel like settled feeling. Well, I mean, tears sometimes do come, but it's out of gratitude.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's out of gratitude. But I really welcome what's happening. It's changed my whole life.
It's amazing.
In areas that I never even dreamed. My sickness is the greatest gift that ever happened to me. It is not a detriment to my life. It is an asset to my life. It has given me my life. It has made it clear what really is important in life. And it opened my heart. It really cracked open my heart. Big.
It's true.
Big time. And it feels like I want to embrace the whole world. There's not a thing that I wouldn't want to embrace.
Say a little more about how it's been for you to be loving towards yourself by accepting this situation that you're in. Like you were in the hospital. I mean, you were in the hospital,
Yeah.
and it was difficult, wasn't
Definitely
it?
difficult.
You couldn't sleep very well,
Right, a lot of noise, a lot
Noise.
of waking me up, taking tests and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's annoying. I'm not saying that it's annoying. It is. But when I see the agitation that I'm in, I just want to say, well, look, this is the way it is right now. And let's get with the program. Just, you need blood, take blood. You need this, take this. Just take.
To stop resisting what's
No
going on.
resistance. That's why when I said to the girl, to the nurse, I said, you're such a sweetheart. I said, you must have a lot of people who really care about you. And she says, you'd be surprised. She says, there are people who curse me. And I couldn't believe it, but I could understand it. They're in a situation where they're being awakened, they're annoyed, they're angry, and they take it out on the nurse. I could understand it. They're agitated all the time, and worried and angry. So they blame others. But
And so when agitation occurred to you in the hospital, for
Yeah.
instance, what happened?
when I noticed the agitation and I noticed I'd become upset, I start to breathe into the situation. I said, just like this, not different. Just blood, pressure, like that. And just take. Here's my arm.
So you relaxed with it.
Relax, being very open and giving so that they don't have to struggle with me. I don't want them to struggle. So there's a great compassionate heart there for myself as well as the nurse. I could see that. I mean, I feel sorry for her. My heart was able to recognize her agitation. I told you about. She said, when I put my hand on her shoulder, she burst into tears. My heart was connected to her heart. It wasn't separated. If it was separated, I couldn't do that. I could feel her agony. She was confused and totally inundated with holes. You could see she was suffering. All I did was just put my hand on her shoulder for just a brief moment and kept it there and calmed her. And she burst into tears and thanked me so much. I could feel that. That's what I'm talking about. You can feel that love, that goodness, that compassion. And marvelous. The moment was really very striking. It's hard to imagine that I could say that I'm very lucky. Look what's happened here. This thing has entered into areas of my life that I couldn't even dream about. What a gift. Couldn't buy it. Not possible. You couldn't even dream it up. This is a story like, you can't make it up.
Stranger than fiction.
Really, really. You got to go through the experience.
Oh, so you don't look to anybody else to manage your agitation?
No, strictly internal. Only internal. Who's going to tell me a story about it? This is a life force. I look to my own life force to calm myself. Who's going to go to a therapist and tell my story and tell me what to do? It's all about our practice. This, what I got, is a practice. It's no different than a practice. I'm just practicing how to be calm under this situation. That's all it is. And it's beautiful. I mean, can you imagine? I wouldn't want it to be different. I mean, if I could get it different, if I didn't have the catheter, if I could pee, if I could just take a nice walk or a run or whatever it is, a swim, it would be wonderful. But I'm fine. I'm happy the way it is. Truly happy the way it is. I have to say I'm joyful. Truly joyful. Feeling the energy, the appreciation for my own goodness, my own heart, my own perspective. A real sense of great love that I have for myself. And connected to the whole universe. I'm not separate. I never, never want to be separate from anybody. And what I might do from time to time, and I don't know if you notice it, sometimes I do it without realizing it, but I'll get to a situation where I'm, let's say, a little bit inundated with stuff. I'll just stop for a moment and then focus on my breath, and I take a deep breath and let it out, and suddenly all that tension, it just disappears. So to that degree I do that, but relax inside immediately and the whole body relaxes, and there's no agitation, there's no fear.
And would you say that when you bring your attention inside, you just accept whatever's going inside as it is?
Just the way it is. Only the way it is. I can't have any kind of idea about how I want it to be, or different. Just this way, with the tubes, with all the stuff, it's fine. Just live with it. Just live with it.
And so when there is the discomfort of the tube,
yeah.
So when what do you do with that?
Just to accept it.
Just accept it.
Just the way it is.
You allow the sensation of it to be the way it is.
The sensation, I don't like it. I don't like that it's it is that sensation, but it's the way it is. So just go with it. Just be with it. Relaxing right with it. Being patient with it. being loving towards it. You see, opening to it. Say, this is the way it is. It's not any other way. It's just this way. Be with that. Be with the way it feels. I feel lousy. I have to take alcohol and wipe myself to make sure that I disinfect myself, because it could create a problem. So I'm very diligent about it. And so I watch that. I make sure I'm clean. I shower, like that. And I got these tubes, and call me Fisher. It's fantastic. And there's nothing to do. It's all being done, just playing out in its own way. And the future has nothing to do with me. Just the way it is.
The future has nothing to do with you.
It has nothing, no plan that I have is some future thing that's going to change things. I have no idea that if I'm going to get better or not better. All I know is this is the way it is for me right now. I don't know what it'll be 10 minutes from now. But whatever comes, we'll deal with it.
And when your attention goes into the future,
then there's agitation. Immediately. You don't have to wait 2 seconds. Your mind right away goes into overload.
So would you say delete the thought?
Delete the thought. Yeah, you just bring in the thought of love. That's all you need. Just the thought of love. And it's right there. Never not there. Okay? Because any thought other than love is agitation. Your whole system is one big ball of love. Constantly embracing, constantly opening. Open. In other words, what I'm doing is opening to the universe and saying to the universe, you tell me, what do you got? What do you got? Show me what you got. And it says, I got tubes, I got this, I got that. Okay, let's do it. In other words, I want to play the game. Whatever the game is, I want to participate in the game. I'm not looking to make a different game. I don't want to make a better game or a worse game. Just the way it is. It's raining, I want rain. Sunning, I want sun. Like that. Once you get the knack of that, it's such a wonderful way to live.
The knack of
accepting things as they come. So whatever the universe dishes up, that's what I want. Provided, if there's a change, I could change something, that's a different story. But if I can't change anything, I can't change this situation overnight. So just go with it. Accept it. And I'm peaceful. Going into surgery is no piece of cake. And so just go. And anything less than that is nothing but fear and trouble, and agitation and worry. Oh, I didn't even want to go there. Look at the house. To me, it's like a shambles. I love a nice, clean place, but this is the way it is. With medicines and all this stuff, and fine. Just right now, this is the way it is. That's all it is. Right this moment, this is the way it is. So, relax. Nothing to do. Nothing to do. No effort necessary. It's all spelled out.
no effort is necessary.
No effort. No effort. You don't have to do anything to change anything. You don't have to change anything. Just accept it the way it is, and you're free. That's freedom. liberation from trying to make something happen. I can feel my own love in my own heart. Right now, I can feel grateful, truly gratitude for just the way I am right now. Look what's happened just by being open, resolving my own issue here, resolving an issue with one after another. I mean, these are big issues that I never even thought about.
And
To find your own happiness within yourself. I learned this now. I mean, I'm not that smart. This sickness created that for me, that it's not going to be out there. You can't find it outside and bring it inside. You got to have it inside and then you take it outside. The it being the love and compassion for yourself. You know, if you have that for yourself, everything opens up. Then you're connected to the entire universe. You see. Yeah, otherwise, you're separate. You know, you're here, they're there, and everybody's got a stance. You know, somebody's got to be somebody. Somebody feels arrogant. You know, like they're in charge. They want to be in charge or whatever it is. Some ego crap. That's where the ego comes from. It's not coming from the heart. It's coming from your head. The most important thing, that you make peace with your heart. That you accept your heart, your goodness, your love, your compassion. And you're a very loving, compassionate man. But you got to give that to yourself. And so that from there, you don't have to worry about a relationship.
Really, it's
all the relationships will come out of the woodwork.
Isn't it true? Isn't it true?
Our life is very precious. Really precious. Great gift to be able to relinquish the power to yourself. Say, I want to open my own heart. I want to be loving. I want to be kind. That's all. You know, the mind is always dissatisfied. All the time. You give your mind something to do, they'll find something wrong with that and they'll go to another thing. Before you know it, it's leading you into Never Land. You have to rein in that craziness and say, I want to do things with my own heart. I want to come from a loving place, a compassion. I want to see the other person no different than myself. You know, I see somebody suffering, and we're all suffering. We're connected that way. Our life is about suffering. You know, I mean, I don't know anybody who doesn't suffer. Some form, you know. Even that little girl I put my hand on, I could see it. Just a simple act of kindness just changed her life in that moment. It's a great gift to me to be able to do that, you know. So this sickness has been the greatest gift for me that I could ever imagine. And very joyful.
Amazing.
Amazing. Never believe it. So,
And what about it is transformative?
see, what's transformative, I think, is that you get real. There's no phoniness. This is not made up. This is not some cockamamie idea that you're trying to deny. You know, this is real stuff right in your face.
And the real stuff right in your face is,
The truth,
which is,
the way things are right now. Just like this. Like this.
and there's no denying it.
If you deny it, you're crazy.
And so,
Can you imagine if I didn't accept this right now? I'd be a mess.
in a certain way, the harder thing to do is to practice this when you're not sick.
Trusting that everything is okay, as it is.